When you hear the name Cleopatra, one of the most famous women in history, what comes to mind? For some, she is the dazzling beauty who seduced powerful men. For others, she is a tragic queen whose life ended in despair. But the truth is far richer. Cleopatra was more than just romance, beauty, or myth. She was the last Pharaoh of Egypt, a cunning strategist, and one of the most remarkable leaders the ancient world had ever seen. Cleopatra VII was born in 69 BC, a princess of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek family that had ruled Egypt since the time of Alexander the Great. This dynasty had reigned for nearly 300 years, blending Greek and Egyptian culture. But by the time of Cleopatra's birth, Egypt was in crisis. The once great kingdom was weakened by corruption, famine, and pressure from the rising superpower of the Mediterranean, Rome. From a young age, Cleopatra was different from her royal siblings. She was highly intelligent and determined. Unlike most of her family, who spoke only Greek, Cleopatra learned the Egyptian language fluently, the first Ptolemaic ruler to do so. She also studied philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. She spoke as many as 9 languages, which gave her a rare ability to engage directly with foreign diplomats. This alone set her apart as a leader. When her father, Ptolemy XIII, died in 51 BC, Cleopatra ascended the throne at the age of 18, co-ruling with her younger brother, who was only 10 years old. But power in Egypt was never stable. Quickly, political factions turned against her, and Cleopatra was forced into exile. Yet exile did not break her spirit. It was during this time that she made one of the most daring moves in political history. Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in Rome, arrived in Egypt in 48 BC. Cleopatra, determined to reclaim her throne, smuggled herself into Caesar's palace, according to legend, rolled up inside a carpet. When the carpet was unrolled, she emerged before Caesar, and the two quickly formed an alliance. Their partnership was not merely romantic, it was deeply political. With Caesar's support, Cleopatra regained her throne and secured her rule. She bore Caesar a son, Caesarion, and traveled with him to Rome. There, she shocked the Roman elite, a foreign queen, walking beside their most powerful general, openly celebrated. But Caesar's assassination in 44 BC shattered everything. Cleopatra returned to Egypt, her position once again uncertain. That's when she forged a new alliance with another Roman powerhouse, Mark Antony. Together, they ruled like a king and queen of the Mediterranean. Antony provided military strength, while Cleopatra brought the wealth of Egypt. Their partnership was passionate, but also strategic, aimed at building a dynasty that could rival Rome. For a time it worked. Antony and Cleopatra lived in splendor, and their union produced children. But Rome, now under the rising power of Octavian, the future Augustus Caesar, saw them as a threat. War was inevitable. In 31 BC, the forces of Octavian clashed with Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium. It was a decisive defeat. Antony's navy was destroyed, and both he and Cleopatra fled back to Egypt. Octavian pursued them relentlessly. Facing capture, Antony fell on his own sword. Cleopatra, left with no hope, made her final choice. According to legend, she allowed an asp, a venomous snake, to bite her, ending her life at the age of 39. With her death, Egypt fell to Rome. The age of the pharaohs was over. Yet Cleopatra's story did not vanish. For centuries, writers, artists, and historians have told and retold her tale, sometimes as a temptress, sometimes as a tragic heroine. But above all, Cleopatra endures as a symbol of intelligence, charm, and resilience, a queen who fought for her throne and her people against impossible odds.